consciousness, with your psoric ideas. Let's go to untidiness 3. Sulfur is untidy 3. Untidy 2 may be Valeriana, especially when she is a teenager, and the psoric one, or a psychotic. Untidiness 2 is Valeriana and Medorinum. Sulfur is the epitome of untidiness, the typical representative of the sloppy, untidy person. What does untidiness 3 means? This thing here, that thing there. I take off my clothes, I leave it at the floor. On my desk at work, things are piled like that, but yet I know where things are. If I'm a teenager and my mom comes and puts things in an order and I am a sulfur individual, then I get lost. I can't find my things and I shout at my mother, "You have lost my order." What order? You didn't have any kind of order. It was chaos in here. Yet he knows where things are because he has his own way of thinking. He is not only untidy, but he is also not clean and dirty. Very sloppy. Very untidy. He cannot organize things. So he may be an inventor and have many good ideas, but he cannot be a businessman and sell his ideas because he is not organized. You can find two kinds of sulfur. The sulfur that is all the time doing things that he likes, because he's easily bored by the other things, and the sulfur that is very lazy and he doesn't want to do things. Yet he can play computer plays for hours, or he can deal with his garden or with his motorbike hours. Valeriana, when being a teenager, she is very sloppy also. Medorinum is very sloppy because he doesn't care much about the personal things at house, or his wife will do these things. Apart from being sloppy, we have those that are clumsy. Clumsy. They step on things, they break things easily, they easily get dirty when eating. Clumsiness 3, sulfur. Clumsiness 2, Valeriana. Lack of coordinates or lack of attention. Then we go on with another field, important field, introversy, extroversy. Introversy, 3 to 2, 2. Extroversy, 3 to 2, 2. How do we ask? We don't ask, are you introvert or extrovert? You will get the wrong answer. You ask, do you talk about your personal I mean really personal things to others, we have to emphasize your personal problems, because many people, if you ask them, do you talk about your problems, will tell you yes, and they mean the problems at work, the financial problems, but these are not personal. Personal problems are usually what has to do with relations. My problems with my wife or husband, or with my affair, my problems with my children, the deep problems, or with my parents. What the person usually believes that are very personal. So the question emphasizes, and we say on personal, do you talk about your personal, really personal problems to others? And if she says yes, yes, then we continue and say, to how many persons do you talk about your personal problems? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many? Your personal problems. Introvert 3 is the person that doesn't talk at all about his personal problems, or he may talk to one, the most two. This is introversion 3. Introvert 3 is Latrum Muriaticum, introvert 3 is also sulfur, the psoric sulfur. Introvert 3 or 2 is sepia. Introvert 2 are many psoric constitutions most of the time. That is Lycopodium, maybe introvert, and syphilitic, silica may be introvert, calcarea carbonica may be introvert too. Gelsemium may be introvert 3 or 2. Thuja is introvert 3. Psorinum is introvert 3. Aurum is introvert, Aurum metallicum is introvert 3 too. Lachesis, the syphilitic ones. Lachesis is introvert 2. Valeriana is introvert 2. Ioskiamos is introvert 3. Let's talk about them. Always we are guided by the essence. If you know the essence of a constitution, then you know how he or she behaves in all fields. That's why I call our method in Homeopathic Academy classical miasmatic constitutional homeopathy. Because we deal with the whole, because we deal with the miasmatic aspect. Natrum muriaticum, either in diagnosis or in differential diagnosis. Natrum muriaticum is the typical representative of psoric introversion. What is its essence? It is very psoric, very romantic, very introvert, very easily offended, very nervous but doesn't express its anger easily, very idealistic and giving. So, Natrium doesn't speak about its personal problems, her personal problems. Usually it's a female, because she doesn't want others to know that she has problems. She is very decent, and personal problems or problems in the family spoil this decency. She doesn't feel well. She feels exposed, but not because she is syphilitically egoistic. She is psorically egoistic. She doesn't want to be commended. She feels ashamed. She feels indignified. So she talks only to two very, very, very close friends, or to her husband, only if he is a loving husband and they have very good relations. And she doesn't want to show that she was offended. Doesn't want to show that she was offended. She finds excuses not to show that she was offended. Sulfur is also very psoric, being very introvert, very psoric, very intellectual, very philosophizing, and very believing that he is very smart and a very good philosopher. He keeps things for himself because he says, why should I say my personals? Others won't give me solutions. I have to give the solutions. Or even if I tell them, nothing will happen, nothing will change. I have such problems that they can't be solved. So he doesn't talk about problems. He keeps it for himself. Yet he is not easily offended. Thuya is so psoric and has such a lack of confidence, believing that she is nothing, she is a zero, she is for the garbage, concerning smartness, personality in general, beauty, and so on. So she keeps things for herself because she's feeling so bad for not worthing anything. So if she talks about her problems, she will get more unworthy. She will seem more unworthy to her eyes and to the eyes of other people. So why talk about things? She doesn't have anything to say, or all things she will say will be worth nothing. Psorinum is very psoric, and think of a sulfur, of an introvert sulfur that has got so disappointed from life, from relations, from work, has so many financial worries that he becomes in despair, hopeless, finds no joy in life, doesn't want any company. So why talk about something that is, all things are black? Why talk about it? There is no hope that there will be a recovery. So there's no meaning about talking something that will not change and will get worse, even more worse. Ioskiavus is very psoric and pre-psychotic or psychotic. He feels so threatened by others, imaginary threats or most of the time. So threatened, so chased, so in danger, so suspicious, insanely suspicious. So why talk about things and become more exposed? So he keeps all things for himself, and he makes scenario and thinks insane scenario that CIA is watching him. So why talk if others and enemies will hear about what he says, and he will be exposed. He will not talk even to the doctor most of the times about what bothers him. Only if he feels very safe and secure, then he will say some things. Sepia is introvert because it is a natrum muriaticum that has gone to the extremes, became the illness went too far, and she is in a psoric silent sadness. So she doesn't talk, and she doesn't like, and she gets angry from consolation when this consolation comes from her husband, whom she believes that is responsible for her situation, and most of the time that's true. So Sepia doesn't want to talk about her personal matters because she is introvert like natrum muriaticum and very much in despair, feeling nothing will change, and feeling lack of energy even to talk about things. Gelsemium is so timid and insecure and having lack of confidence that he doesn't talk about his personal things because he is so shy. Aurum is psoric, very psoric, and it is in such despair and life-loathing and wants to commit suicide because he or she believes that he has done all things wrong. He is so strict with himself, believes that has done so many wrong things, so why talk about the wrong things that you have done? And why talk about it when there is no point? Because he wants to commit suicide. Introversion 2. Many psoric constitutions are introvert too, because introversion is a great psoric characteristic, while extroversy is a great psychotic characteristic. So psoric individuals like Lycopodium don't want to talk about their very personals because he doesn't want to be exposed. He has created a positive image of himself to himself and to others, that he is very intellectual, very cultured, very polite, very good, very moral. So why spoil his image talking about his personal problems? Only to close friends. Silica is psoric and doesn't want to talk about her problems, and very has also a small lack of confidence. Calcarea carbonica is so tired and has so many fears and worries in her head that she doesn't have the energy and doesn't want to talk about her personal problems, but not something very intense. Extroversy, a psychotic characteristic. Extrovert 3. Pulsatilla, phosphor. Pulsatilla and phosphor are very extrovert. Lachesis under certain conditions may seem to be or be very extrovert. Many other constitutions can be extrovert, but not in a significant way. Pulsatilla is psoric concerning ideas, intention, but she is very psychotic concerning expression of ideas and emotions, concerning behavior, concerning physical field, physical level. The same stands both also for phosphor. That's why they are very close together and very relative constitutions. Pulsatilla is mostly female, phosphorus is mostly male. But we have also female phosphorus individuals. Why is Pulsatilla so extrovert? Because she wants communication, she wants company, she wants emotional communication. She is so sensitive and emotional and so romantic and so much wanting of love and communication, emotional communication. That's why she wants to talk about her personal problems, and she cares about others' problems, sincerely, psorically. So, she may even find a stranger at the bus or at the train and start talking gradually about her personal problems if she finds the positive attention of the other person. And she wants to tell her problems in order to get consolation. She craves consolation, craves emotional communication, understanding, and she gets better when she tells her problem. She is relieved, and she usually easily cries when talking about her problems. It's a psoric, sincere crying, weeping. Very emotional, very sensitive, very communicative, very joyful. Phosphorus is also very extrovert because he's also sensitive and emotional. He's also sincere, giving, altruistic, and he wants to talk about his personal problems. And not so much as Pulsatilla, not so romantic as Pulsatilla, not so weeping as Pulsatilla. Wants consolation and wants understanding. Especially he wants consolation and wants to talk about his problems, his health problems, where he is at the pathology phase B, when he has neurovegetative psychosomatic ailments, and he wants to talk about the problems of his health in order to find consolation and to find solutions. Lachesis, although we say that being syphilitic she is introvert, most of the times she is introvert because she doesn't want others to know about her secrets and doesn't want to be exposed. She wants to have an image in order to manipulate others, in order to be dominant. Yet, at times we may see a Lachesis patient that as a secondary behavior, she talks even to the TV programs, even gives talks about her very personal problems to the TV, and to the journalists and to many people, to all people, usually because she wants to say that she was a victim. She talks about her children, her husband, her marital status, her personal problems, because she wants to attract attention. You see, it's a deliberate action, an exaggeration, deliberate action, and perversion are the three syphilitic characteristics. She wants to project an image of the victim, and that's why she talks about her personal problems, to attract attention and to manipulate others. What other questions do we ask concerning introversion, extroversion? We say, what about consolation? Do you like consolation? Don't you like consolation? Does it make you angry? When we ask, when somebody comes to talk, when somebody learns that you have some personal problems and comes and starts consolating you, do you like it? Is it neutral, or do you get vexated or angry? Better consolation better and worse. Better consolation 3 or 2, worse consolation 3 or 2. Better consolation 3 is pulsatilla and maybe phosphor also. Better consolation 2, we can have other constitutions, but it's not so important. Worst consolation 3, natrum muriaticum, sepia. Worst consolation 2, ignatia, valeriana, and sometimes lachesis. Worst consolation 3, natrum muriaticum, we have talked about it. Sepia also. Ignatia for the same reasons like natrum muriaticum, since they are so relative constitutions. But we have a syphilitic here and here constitution. Valeriana is worst consolation only when she takes and interprets consolation as being pity. She doesn't want pity. She gets angry because she's so insecure and she wants to project that she's very sure of herself. And so when somebody shows pity to her, she feels as if of being below others. And that makes her angry, and she reacts. She gets angry and reacts and becomes ironic. Lachesis doesn't want others to feel pity for her, because to consolate her, because whenever she has this image to project, that she is very strong businesswoman, successful, and so on. But if she adopts the secondary behavior of being a victim, then she wants consolation. And she says that she is better consolation. You see how many opposite secondary behaviors can a syphilitic person adopt. In the same way, we have weeping alone. Weeping alone for very understandable reasons, weeping alone, Natrum muriaticum, sepia valeriana. On the other hand, we have weeping 3 or 2, pulsatilla, sometimes phosphor, but mostly pulsatilla. Maybe we have as a secondary behavior weeping 3 lachesis and many syphilitic constitutions, weeping 3, moschus, weeping 3, in order to attract attention and do things their own way. It is not a true weeping, it is a fake weeping, a manipulative one. Extroversion, we should say speech. Loquacity, 3. Lachesis, argentum nitricum. Lachesis is loquacious 3, jumping from one subject to another, talking all the time, and her talk has to do with gossiping or when accusing others or manipulating things. Argentum nitricum is loquacious because it has very quick thoughts, very fixed ideas, and the same stands both for his speech. He has quick thoughts, quick talking, and quiet talking. It is an obsessive loquacity. Speech, loquacious may be pulsatilla, or phosphor. Pulsatilla wants to communicate. And this is a pleasant loquacity. This is an unpleasant, and this is an unpleasant. This is also a pleasant loquacity because phosphorus is so psoric as to intention and ideas, and so sincere and joyful and giving. That's why it is a pleasant loquacity. Lycopodium may be loquacious when trying to project the image of the intellectual person that knows many things. And also sulfur when he talks about his theories. Or if he is psychotic sulfur, making jokes all the time and teasing all the time. Less speech, sulfur, the psoric especially sulfur doesn't talk much. The psoric sulfur, psorinum, aurum, sepia, because they are introvert. Let's go to another field, very important field. Fears. Three to two. Minus 3, 2. As you have seen, during all the lessons that we have, I talk sometimes for 2 hours without any stop, without consulting any notes. I only consult the materia medica when I want to give you some hints about the physical characteristics. But for all the rest, especially when I describe the constitutions, I don't consult any notes. Why? Because in classical miasmatic constitutional homeopathy, our aim is not to remember things or details. It's to help the student grasp the essence and the whole picture and the psychological profile of the constitutions. And then, after the theoretical grasp, to confirm this image and to identify this image, this picture, in clinical practice. Once you have identified any constitution, you can talk about it for hours. You can say how this individual, under the influence of this constitution, how will he behave in this or that situation. So you need no repertory, you need no computer expert system, you need no keynotes. You know, you are acquainted with the picture. That's why I talk without consulting any notes. And it is not that I am a very experienced or a very smart person. It is because I have I use the correct method. So, fear 3. Very much afraid are Agonidum, Mancinella, Arsenicum, Phosphor, Ιοσκίαμος, Argentum nitricum, Λάχεσης, Βαλεριάνα, Calcarea carbonica, let's analyze this. How do we ask? We ask in a general way. How about fears? Are you afraid of something? Do you have any fears? Then the individual starts talking. We always ask about fears at the state of clinical health, normally, not when he is ill. Because we may have a lycopodium patient that doesn't have any great fears about his health, but if when ill, during an acute illness, he develops temporarily arsenicum, then he will have many fears. So when we ask him, he has to answer to us if he is afraid when he is not ill, at the chronic illness, not at the acute illness. So, we have fearful 3 when we have easily frightened, intensely frightened, all the time frightened. So, let's see again the essence and how does this help us find what kind of fears a person has. Aconitum is an acute, most of the times, constitution. After some sudden event, sudden frightful event, after fright, he develops many fears, intense fears. Fear with anxiety and anguish. He is afraid that he is going to die. His symptoms are so intense, it is in such turmoil that he feels that he will die now, the next minute, the next hours, the next days. He also predicts the time that he will die. Say, by tomorrow I will die. But as suddenly it comes as a gale, so suddenly it leaves. Only at rare times you will find an aconitum constitution established as an influence for months or years. Most of the times it's an acute condition. Arsenicum is this selfish, dominant, miserous individual that knows all things. So he's so attached to his existence and to his ego that he is afraid of losing his existence, afraid of losing life. That's why he's afraid of death. He doesn't want to hear about funerals. He doesn't want to hear about diseases and so on. It is not, we are not interested so much in the acute condition during acute illness. We are interested in the chronic state where arsenicum is afraid of death in general. And is very much afraid of diseases because he is afraid that they will lead him to death. So, Mancinella is not afraid so much about death or health. It is afraid of getting insane, of losing it. Mancinella has so many quick and intense thoughts that she has the certainty that after a click she will get insane. It is a rare constitution, not a usual one. Afraid of insanity, 3 or 4. Ioschiamos, when in a pre-psychotic condition, on the borderline of insanity, because he has these insane ideas and insane suspiciousness, he is very much afraid that enemies are around him. CIA is having conspiracies against him. Demons are after him. He is so much afraid of others, of being, he feels so threatened, so afraid that he's being chased. So, fear of insane fear of being hunted. Phosphorus has fear when he is at the pathology phase A. He doesn't have any fears. He cares about his health, but he is not afraid about his health so much. When he is at pathology phase B, when he starts having fears and psychosomatic symptoms, then he is very much afraid about his health. Not about death, he is afraid of his symptoms. He is afraid of diseases, and especially heart disease or a stroke, something sudden, acute. At that time, he doesn't want to be alone. He wants company in order to talk about his problem and forget his problem. And at that time, he wants to do checkups and visit the doctors. Argentum nitricum